with your eyes still closed, I want you to think about what you are going to be doing during this next period. What we have to do is that we have to work on our second colonial journal entry. We are going to have to review notes about things that happened on the Mayflower. We're also going to have to look at our artistic journals and see where you are on that boat. I'm going to count down from 3, and then what I'd like you to do is open up your binder and look at your notes for on the boat. 3, 2, 1. Open up your binders. Please look at your notes quietly. There are many ways to define intelligence, and I think one of the ways to define intelligence is one's ability to solve a problem. I think traditionally, education is always focused on 2 primary things, one in terms of linguistic intelligence and in terms of mathematical. And I think educators now are realizing that there are many other ways that people can solve problems. They can solve problems kinesthetically. They can solve problems musically. They can solve problems based on how they work with each other. So multiple intelligence is really using a theory proposed by Howard Gardner of many different ways of solving problems and really looking at those ways to design curriculum and also bring out the best in children. There are going to be 3 things that you're going to focus on in this journal entry, okay? The first one is going to be hardship. So in your upper right-hand corner, hardship. You want to think about how difficult it is, how miserable you are, how sick you are. Number 2, things that you miss. Now, through all the misery that you're going through, there has to be something that's going to be what?
You're hopeful for the new world.
Exactly. So that's what we want to focus on, too. You want to have a glimmer of hope, either your hope or your dream. What's pushing you through? Close your eyes. We are going back in time to a time where there were no engines, but things were done with wind and sail. When there was no electricity. Touch your face. Do you have a beard? Is your hair long? Touch your clothes. Smell your clothes. What do they smell like? I really wanted them to make the writing come alive. You know, really trying to use sight, sound, smell, touch, taste, have all those things become vibrant in their writing. We use music to pass on particular curriculum ideas. A lot of times, too, music can be a very introspective thing, where kids can kind of imagine and cue different things. You've been in the hold for a long, long time. Now, after spending time in the darkness, you are given an opportunity to come back up, above deck. How do you feel? Look up at the sky above you. They give you a small book, and they give you a quill pen. You have an opportunity to write something. What do you want to record? What do you want to share? This is your chance. Start writing. I think what's difficult about using multiple intelligence in this classroom is that you really have to kind of maybe work outside the realm of what's traditionally taught. It requires a little bit more in-depth of thought in terms of how you want to kind of scaffold lessons. It requires a certain type of a willingness to try different things, a willingness to, act out a math problem. And a lot of people might not feel comfortable with that. But in order to make those connections with kids who do have that need, that's a large jump that a teacher has to take. How'd it feel? All right, everyone stretch out. Verb! Sit back down. Verb! One of the things that we have to do during 3rd, 4th grade is we have to talk to children about parts of speech. A graphical way of understanding that is that we draw an octopus, and then each of the tentacles represents each of the different parts of speech. So you have nouns, verbs, adjectives, etc. Another piece that they do is they often act out different things. So when they talk about a noun, they'll say it's a person, they'll say it's a place, or it's a thing. So having all these different ways for kids to really participate, having all sorts of different ways for kids to express, is really getting at the core of what multiple intelligence theory is. Again, looking at a wider way of which kids can understand things and also express what they know, the way they express how they solve problems.
Okay, friends, this is what I would like you to do. In each of your groups, we're going to take about 5 minutes. I want you to share to each other, pair up. If you're with a three, then what try to do is maybe have one person move over to the other table, pair up with another person, talk about what you wrote.
I didn't join in the songs because I'm like writing. So yeah. Like the sales and like making fun of us because they were because they like to make fun of us and make fun of our songs and like what we do. So you wrote that? And I'm thinking of my beard is overgrown and my hair is overgrown and I'm really sweaty. This is like the first time I've been allowed ever to go up to go.
I think a lot of times in the classroom things are very isolated, and what you do is that when you start working stuff with multiple intelligence and see how kids can apply all these different ideas to a wider scope of things, they could really make really true relations between what happens in the classroom and the outside world. And that's when learning really becomes exciting. I think a lot of times, kids are bored in school because what they do in school has really no relevance in what they do, from their day-to-day thing. And I think the more that you can incorporate a wide different point of views, the more that you can incorporate different ways that they can express themselves, they're going to feel great about what they do. So I think that's why it's very important to work with the multiple intelligence theory in the classroom.